this time, I would like to introduce our headline musician for the evening. His name is Mr. Don Cadden. Don is a singer, songwriter, poet, and storyteller who has performed at cowboy poetry gatherings for 35 years. He spent a lot of time in the brush country of South Texas, which is reflected much in his writing. His ballad of Ernesto Galvan, the story of a vaquero friend from Catula, has been recorded by several other performers. Don and his wife, Pam, both served for years on the board of the Texas Cowboy Poetry Gathering in Alpine. They ranched there, and Don also day worked on local ranches. They have recently moved to Burnet, Texas, to be closer to family. Don has written 2 books, Tied Hard and Fast, about legendary Big Bend cowboy Apache Adams, and a novel titled Rattlesnakes, Coyotes, Cowboys, and Mexicans. Don also has recorded 2 music and poetry CDs, and I'll tell you that all of that is for sale over there in one of those round tables over there. At this time, I would like to welcome Don Cadden. Let's give him a big Oakville welcome.
Well, I got the great pleasure tonight of having Miss Katie here that showed up with her husband, Alan Chapman, and we haven't played together in maybe 5 or 6 years, but we're going to have fun, and I hope you like it. This is a song I wrote about traveling around Texas, and it mentions Mr. Dobie in it, so I thought I probably ought to play it. So. When the northern sky grows dark and the landscape's turning stark, I see 1,000 longhorns on the trail. Captain Schreiner and Goodnight, slickers on and hats down tight, as that Texas blue norther starts to wail. When I'm down in San Antonio and I'm standing all alone in front of that famous Texas shrine, Santa Anna's bugle sounds and my heart starts to pound as Travis pulls his sword and draws the line. Because no matter where I go, I'm a son of the Alamo. I'll be a Texas boy until I die. You may bury my whole bones, but my soul will always roam underneath that Lone Star sky. When I hear them play Fraulein and sing about the River Rhine, I think about those men who served so well. Ike and Nimitz led the way, Audie Murphy had his day. The Texas 36 sure gave them hell. When I'm down by the Rio Grande and look across that rugged land of vaqueros and high chaparral, where Captain King built his ranch, Pancho Villa had no match. Frank Dobie would tell you a tale. Because no matter where I go, I'm a son of the Alamo. Be a Texas boy until I die. You may bury my old bones, but my soul will always roam underneath that Lone Star sky. On the XIT and the supper down Madam Morris Way. I'd climb Guadalupe Peak, take a swim in Barton Creek, sail across Matagorda Bay. I'd find some old cows to punch, stop by Fredericksburg for lunch, head out to the Peck's Rodeo. I'd hunt those South Texas deer, drink some cold Shiner beer, make the Dallas Fair and the Fort Worth Asphalt Show. And that moon would look so fine through those East Texas pines as I headed for the end of my day. I'd have George Strait out on the lawn, play with Willie until dawn, dance while Bob Wills' fiddle played. Because no matter where I go, I'm a son of the Alamo. Be a Texas boy until I die. You may bury my whole bones, but my soul will always roam that Lone Star sky. You may bury my whole bone, but my soul will always roam underneath that Lone Star sky. Great, thank you. So, Kate and her husband, who will be up here later to entertain you with a song he wrote about one of Dobie's stories, we all played the different cowboy poetry gatherings around the West, and it's been a heck of a ride and really fun deal. This is typical of a cowboy song that was a poem. It was a poem written back in the late 1800s, and then somebody made it into a song, and it's one of the prettiest of the old cowboy songs. It's called "Spanish is the Loving Tongue." Spanish is a loving tongue, soft as music, light as spray. Was a girl I learned it from, living down Sonora way. I don't look much like a lover, yet I say her love words over. Often when I'm all alone, mi amor, mi corazón. Nights when she knew where I'd ride, she would listen for my spurs. Fling that big door open wide, raise them laughing eyes of hers. And my heart would not stop beating when I'd hear her tender greeting, whispered soft for me alone, mi amor, mi corazón. Moonlight on the patio, old senora nodding near, me and Juana talking low, so some madre wouldn't hear. How those hours would go a-flying, and too soon I'd hear her sighing in her little sorry tone, adios mi corazón. Then one night I had to fly for a foolish fight zone, and we said a swift goodbye on that black unlucky night. When I loosed her arms from clinging, with her words the hooves were ringing. As I galloped north alone, adios mi corazón. Haven't seen her since that night, I can't cross that line, you know. She was Mex and I was white, like as not it's better so. But I've always sort of missed her since that last wild night I kissed her. Broke her heart and left my home, adios mi corazón. Broke her heart and left my home, adios mi corazón. Well, I'm so glad you're here. Good. I love it. Okay, this is a snow an old cowboy poem, another old cowboy poem that was made into a song. And it's a song about a horse. Of course, that didn't draw too good of a lot in life as he got older. So it's called Forgotten. Well, he used to be a cow horse that was young and strong and fleet. Now he stands alone, forgotten in the winter snow and sleet. His eyes are dim and holler, head is turning gray. Not too old to bother, just a house that's had his day. They've forgotten how he packed them in an easy swinging lope, how he braced his sturdy shoulders when he sat back on a rope. Feared no weight nor distance, he answered every moving word, though his sides were white with lather as he held the milling herd. Now he's stiff and old and stumbles, he's lost the strength and speed that once took him through the darkness round the point of a stampede. His legs are scarred and battered, both the muscle and the bone. He's just a wore-out cow horse, so they turned him out alone. Well, they turned him out to winter best he can amongst the snow. There without a friend and lonesome, you think he doesn't know. Through the hours of storm and darkness, he has time to think a lot. That old horse, he may have been forgotten, but you can bet that he ain't forgot. He stands still, he ain't none worried, for he knows he played the game. He's got nothing to back up from, he's been square and he ain't ashamed. For no matter where they put him, he always did his share. And I think more of that old pony than the folks who left him there. For he used to be a cow horse that was young and strong and fleet.
If you have been coming to Dobie Dichos for the last number of years, you know that after each performer in the program, we do a little Q&A. And it's not something that I usually do with the musicians. However, this year, I'm making an exception. Don, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm trying to put my guitar on.
Oh, sorry. Let's give him a second to get his guitar set down. Okay, so, Don.
You got to get right on that mic.
You here? Okay. Don, you were friends with a lady named Isabel Gaddis in Cotulla for a number of years. What can you tell us about Isabel Gaddis and her friendship with J. Frank Dobie?
Thank you. Well, Ms. Gaddis, some of you being down here may have known Ms. Gaddis over in Cotulla. She came from, her maiden name was Maltzberger, and she came from a ranch family. Her father had gone up the trail 3 times, came back, saved his money, and got a ranch south of Cotulla. And he wanted his daughter to be educated, so he sent her to the University of Texas, where Frank Dobie was a teacher. And she took his class, and they hit it off because of being from South Texas, but also because of her ranching heritage and her dad being a trail driver. Dobie wanted to get all those stories. So they formed a lifelong friendship. She went on to get her degree from the university and then went to Columbia, then came back to Cotulla and married Harry Gaddis, who was the pharmacist there. And they had a special room in their home that Mr. Dobie would come down and write and stay in their house and do his writing. And if you look at the book that I saw over there on the table, it's I'll Tell You a Tale. It's a conglomeration of some of his different stories. She edited that and put it all together for him. And he told her that he was going to leave her all of his letters, his works, papers. She had the entire Dobie collection, and he told her one thing. He said, "You can have it," but he said, "I want you to find a good university and sell it to them. Don't give it to them, sell it to them." So she sold her collection to Southwestern University in Georgetown, and it's there now. It's the Isabel Gaddis collection. I had the great privilege. I hunted on a ranch in Cotulla for 37 years, and I'd go into town on Saturday night, and I'd go over to Ms. Gaddis's house, and we'd build a mesquite fire, and we'd sit there, and she'd tell me stories about her daddy's trail drive days and about Mr. Dobie, and I wouldn't take anything for it. If you don't have but one Dobie book, I'll Tell You a Tale is the one to have, I think, because it really covers a lot of the different stories out of the different books. So, thank you, ma'am.
How about that? Pretty cool story, huh? Let's give Don another round of applause for his wonderful musicianship tonight. And let's not forget Kate, who accompanied him on the fiddle.
I'm here where the eagle flies. Let the world pass me by.